Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic week. Well, another cruise ship is being delayed because of storms in the UK. If you remember a little while ago, we had the Norwegian cruise line where everyone was yelling at the captain and yelling at them about all the different ports they were missing and their entire itinerary was changed. And now we have another one where they're missing 4 of the main ports that they're supposed to go to and not even going to any other ports. But it's 2 different cruise lines. So let's see how each one handled it. So quickly, let me just state off, I'm always one of those ones that, is in favor of decisions made for safety. If you're changing my port and my itinerary for safety, I completely understand, and you'll never hear a peep of complaint about me. I might be disappointed. I've had stays where I was really looking forward to a port. My last one going to Norway was cancelled. My last one going to Ireland was cancelled. My last one going to Scotland was cancelled. Very, very disappointed, but I understood. Storm's coming. I don't want to be in the ocean during a storm. Let's get that clear. So when Norwegian shipped a few weeks ago, and it's changing a lot of its itinerary and not going to the main ports it was supposed to go to, and ended up doing, instead of 3 ports in Norway, stays in Norway, they did 5. They ended up going to try and get into a stop in France and couldn't get in. They ended up missing Iceland. They missed a lot of their cruise and they got very upset. Norwegian Cruise Line offered them a 25% future cruise credit for all the things that they missed and they couldn't do. Also, there was no advance warning to anybody about the possibility of the storms interrupting them and not getting, you're not going to be able to do the itinerary you're doing. You got to the ship. They then started sailing, and then they told them, by the way, we can't go here now. By the way, we can't go here now. We're going here instead. Oh, we can't get in there. Now we're going to stay another day at sea. That's the sort of thing that happened with Norwegian. Passengers got upset. As you remember, they were yelling at people on the ship and calling them liars and very, very vocal, huge media thing about it. And now we have the Rhapsody of the Seas, which is supposed to do a transatlantic cruise this week, going from Southampton all the way to Miami with stops staying over in 4 ports in the Caribbean. I think the Dominican, Antigua, I think St. Lucia is involved. So, there are some nice stops in the Caribbean. So you booked a transatlantic going from a cold area of Southampton, ending up in a nice warm Caribbean sunshine, get rid of the cold weather that's coming in now, and then you find out, by the way, there's some storms coming in. In fact, there's 4 storms in the area. And they were looking them over, the meteorologist was checking it out, and it seemed like with the path that was going, the minute one storm would move, another one would come into the same path, and then this, where they just couldn't sail around. Either way, they're going to hit one of these 4 storms or 2 of these 4 storms, because they're kind of moving around like this. There was no way to avoid them unless you headed in the other direction and sail circumference to the ocean. That's not going to happen on an 11-day cruise. So they were told the cruise will now leave 3 days later than planned out of Southampton, and also they're going to be skipping all 4 Caribbean ports. So what did Royal Caribbean do? Well, first off, they've let everybody know. They've sent letters and emails out to everybody and phone calls to let people know this is what's going on. So bravo to Royal Caribbean to giving people advance notice. Originally they had offered a future cruise credit if you wanted to cancel the cruise. Now they've changed that because at first they thought they were only going to be they would delay a little bit and maybe hit 2 or 3 of the ports, so it wouldn't be so bad. Now that they realize they're going to miss all 4 ports, they're offering anyone who wants to cancel, you get 100% refund. Or you can go on board, take the transatlantic cruise to Miami anyway. They will reimburse you for the 4 days that they're missing in the Caribbean and give you a future cruise credit for those 4 days as well that you can use on your next cruise within the next, as long as you book it within the next 2 years. So you can get a full refund, and you can get a future cruise credit and 25% off, or whatever, the 4 days off of an 11 days. So, a little over 25% of your money back as well. So that's how Royal Caribbean has handled it. The big thing here was the advance notice that they gave their clients. They gave them a choice. They gave them the opportunity to change their flights. Even though, 3 or 4 days before you're supposed to set sail is a little short notice to try and cancel flights, but at least if you had your travel insurance, you get your money back. You can cancel it because of this, because the cruise was technically canceled. So good things happen when things are prepared and you get some advance notice. Also giving you 100% of your money back if you just don't want to go, which is great for anyone in London and England area, Germany, that was a short distance to get to the port and was just going to take a transatlantic to North America. Much easier for them to cancel their plans than North Americans who are flying over and have hotel bookings to worry about and spend an extra 3 days in Southampton. But at least you have the opportunity and the choice. And I think that's what the passengers on the Norwegian Cruise Lines experience. That's what they were angry about. They were given no choice. Although they were angry about a lot of things, I still say that's not the way to handle things. You get more things done as a group if you organize and mass complain and mass social media than it does just to, put up signs and hold signs and put it up on Facebook and then yell at people on the ship. That's not the way to go. That's definitely really counterproductive in a way. But what do you guys think? Now, there you go. That's 2 cruise lines, and unfortunately, this tends to be a thing where I hear about things being canceled or ships breaking down and construction on ships and all that, and I always hear that Royal Caribbean's handling it right, Princess Cruise Line's handling it right, Carnival Cruise Line handled it right, and then Norwegian sometimes handles it right, but usually after pressure to handle it. I mean, remember the construction cruise that had construction on it the whole way? They just offered them, 25% future cruise credit, and eventually they ended up having to give them 100% future cruise credit because the construction was the whole time. You couldn't use half the top decks for the entire cruise, and it smelled like, ammonia all over the place and construction noise all day. That was not a thing to do. That was not a way to handle that. And it just seems to be a trend. And I think that's where Norwegian has to get organized more. They have to, they're coming out with brand new, beautiful ships. The new Encore is just coming to North America in the next couple of weeks. People are excited about it. And then you have stories like that with Norwegian where they're offering, nothing or disorganized when it comes to handling situations like having to cancel ports and stuff like that. It just seems to be counterproductive for them, and I hope they get that part, more organized. But what do you guys think? I think right now, good job by Royal Caribbean. First, they let everybody know. They offered them their full refund, and then they offered if you do go, you get your money back for the ports that they're not going to, the days you miss, plus future cruise credits as well. For me, chances are I'd be on that ship and still taking my transatlantic cruise and taking that money all the way back to my bank account. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know the 2 situations, because I was kind of hard on the guys on Royal Caribbean, but I think, on Norwegian when they were demonstrating on the ship, but I think that was more about, I don't think demonstrations were the way to go, personally. But now that I'm comparing the 2 offers and the way they were handled, they may have some really good points about the way things were done. Let me know down below what you guys think, and until next time, if you like this video, maybe hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more info, and until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.